Today is a big day for Canada. It's a big day for British Columbia.
Tonight, pipeline plan. New details moments away while BC announces a new agreement with the feds.
Our goal is to apply pressure on the employer.
Still no deal. BC nurses take job action after a missed deadline. What it could mean for wait times. Plus,
But someone has to voice what is happening out there.
council consumption fight. Emotions run high over a motion to shut down a controversial site. This is CHEK News at 5. Breaking news, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney are set to hold a joint news conference in Calgary tonight on the proposed pipeline project to the BC coast. It seems they're quite literally going to be doing it in front of pipelines. That news conference is set to begin in just moments. We will bring it to you live as soon as it gets underway. Good evening. We do have full pipeline coverage tonight, including immediate insight from Rob Shaw, who is standing by at the BC legislature. But we begin in BC tonight. The Prime Minister starting the day in Vancouver, where he announced a multi-billion-dollar deal with the province, which includes money for major projects while keeping the northern tanker ban in place. Mary Griffin reports.
A celebratory handshake before a multi-billion-dollar announcement.
Premier Eby and I are announcing a landmark Canada-British Columbia cooperative prosperity agreement. This agreement is comprehensive, it's ambitious, and it will help transform the entire Canadian economy.
The agreement includes $10 billion to expand the Roberts Bank terminal in Tsawwassen to increase capacity, and $3 billion for expanding the George Massey Tunnel from 4 lanes to 8. Also, at least $3.5 billion for the North Coast transmission line to power LNG, and $500 million for the expansion of the Red Chris mine to boost copper production, and $630 million in affordable childcare to support the estimated 100,000 skilled trade workers necessary for all the projects. The Prime Minister offered hope that a northern BC pipeline route favored by Alberta's Danielle Smith may be off the table.
We're also clear that today's Canada-BC agreement will maintain the federal North Coast tanker ban in accordance with the proposed route of a new trans-provincial pipeline under the bilateral agreement with Canada and Alberta.
That's music to the ears of the First Nations who have fought any northern route.
As a coastal community, we're very pleased. It's a good day for our people. It's a good day for the Great Bear Sea. And it's something that, we've been working hard, advocating to make sure that, our coast is protected.
Premier Eby settled the issue of fighting any proposed northern pipeline route.
Pipelines are federal jurisdiction. That's why this agreement matters. It ensures that the northern tanker ban stays in place. And it ensures that if a pipeline goes ahead, that British Columbians are fairly compensated for the environmental risks we would take on any new pipeline project.
The agreement also includes details for developing BC's export market for LNG and improving protection for orca populations along the west coast.
Now, as mentioned, Prime Minister Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith will be holding that joint news conference any moment. Just an empty podium right now. But first, let's go to Rob Shaw, who's at the BC legislature. And Rob, what are you expecting from today's announcement?
Well, Paul, we're going to be watching to see if this is indeed a southern route for a pipeline. It does sound like that is the case because, as you heard in Mary's story, the northern tanker ban remaining in place doesn't make a northern route tenable. Then the question will be, does it go into Burnaby or does it go into that Roberts Bank terminal that in Mary's story, $10 billion is going to refurbish from Ottawa? That seems like the likely kind of terminus point of this new pipeline. We'll also be looking at the issue of compensation here. Yes, as much as $20 billion on the table from Ottawa, but how much of it in addition will come from the pipeline? Right now, the Trans Mountain pipeline only gives BC around $50 million a year in revenue, despite all that risk of oil traveling to the coast. So will BC get a better slice of that with this new oil pipeline? That'll be one of the questions we'll be looking for from the Prime Minister and Premier Smith when that press conference starts. There's a lot of still unanswered questions here about how this may actually work, but a good chunk of change for BC today in exchange for not supporting, but just not opposing a southern route pipeline to the province.
Yeah, that was very interesting today, and Premier Eby made it quite clear that this announcement that's happening right now is Alberta's announcement. This isn't our announcement, and that route, which has been reported to be that southern route, is going to be a very interesting piece of this. I'm wondering about paying for a pipeline like this, and I've heard some rumblings about potential of private partnership. Is that something that you could see here?
Well, the Prime Minister had always made this contingent on Alberta finding a private proponent, but today we saw the Chief of Staff to the Alberta Premier suggest on social media, what about a private partner? So what's the difference between private proponent, private partner? Are there companies that want to partner in this in some way? Does it involve the federal government? The BC government has been very critical of the idea of public money going towards this. It cost $34 billion to build the twinned Trans Mountain pipeline. Any pipeline now is going to cost more than that. Where is that money coming from, and will taxpayers be involved? That could be, it's not in the MOU here, but it would prove BC right if the feds had to dump cash into this. But look, let's not underestimate how much Prime Minister Mark Carney wants this pipeline. And earlier this week, he put a video on social media that not only said Canada is not going to hit its emissions targets under Justin Trudeau and the Paris Accord, but in the near term, it needs to play a leading role in oil and gas, because that is the short-term energy market across the world. And he's really laid down support for this. It's part of his vision for nation building. And as BC proved today and with this MOU, you can't shake the Prime Minister off this. You can only try to get the best deal possible when something is in fact going ahead.
Yes, a lot of things that we're going to be keeping an eye on. And right now we're keeping an eye on that live press conference in Calgary. As you can see, an empty podium right now, but we will continue to monitor that as soon as we do get some action between the Prime Minister there and the Premier of Alberta. We will bring that to you. Right now, we want to ask you our poll question. Does BC have enough input on pipeline projects that run through the province? You can vote in tonight's poll by heading to our website at cheknews.ca. We will have results a little bit later in the show. What's the number one thing that you are going to be watching for? I mean, you mentioned that route, you mentioned the private partnership. What's the biggest piece that you're paying attention to, Rob?
Well, where is the money coming for this? Does it make economical sense? That is the big question. What would the construction timeline be like? We've seen Alberta in the past suggest they could start building this thing as early as next year. That would put it into completion somewhere in the mid-2030s. Ironically, the money that BC is getting towards the North Coast transmission line, this big plan to electrify Prince George to Terrace to allow for mines and LNG facilities to tap into that electricity, that's not going to be done until the mid-2030s as well. So the oil pipeline and the transmission pipeline, they may end up, lasting longer than either Premier Eby or Premier Smith. Maybe entirely different governments cutting the ribbons of those projects by the mid-2030s. So we'll be looking for that. We'll be looking for more details on First Nations buy-in. It's clear that this has to be an equity project.
Yes.
That'll be part of that as well.
Well, there's a few sure things in life, and one of those is that a Prime Minister's press conference is going to be a little bit delayed. So we are still waiting on that. As you can see, the empty podium, we are seeing some movement. But when that does begin, we will go to that. Rob Shaw will be standing by. We will go back to Rob for immediate reaction after that press conference. But right now, another major story in the province today. BC nurses have started job action after today's noon deadline came and went. The nurses union says it will be targeted, hoping to have minimal impact on patient care. Here's Eden Chipperfield.
The last thing we want to do is to withdraw labor.
The 72-hour strike notice issued by BC nurses expired at noon today. And with no deal in place, BC nurses are taking targeted job action across BC. This initial phase targets non-nursing duties. Nurses are also banned from non-essential overtime, answering phones, cleaning, and processing doctors' orders.
So these are tasks that certainly are essential to the delivery of healthcare, but they do not require a professional nursing designation to complete them.
The escalation follows a historic strike vote with more than 50,000 nurses voting 98.2% in favor of job action after 67% of members rejected a tentative agreement on May 22nd. The union wants a deal that addresses general wage increases and improves nurse retention and workplace safety.
Both of these job actions are designed in mind not to impact patient care. Our goal is to apply pressure on the employer.
In a statement, the Nurses Bargaining Association says it believes further escalation can be avoided if the provincial government returns to the table with a mandate to address nurses' concerns meaningfully.
We want a system where patients can access and get the appropriate care they need, whereas nurses, we feel valued, we feel safe, and that our workloads are reasonable, and that it's just not it's not getting better. So basically what nurses are saying is enough, and they are demonstrating their unity.
In the meantime, strike headquarters are set up across BC as the union waits for a response from the province. We did reach out to the province but did not hear back by our deadline. The union says it's willing to meet anytime and its bargaining team is on standby.
Well, more than 1,500 people reported feeling a small earthquake that rumbled south of Victoria on Wednesday night. The 3.7 magnitude quake shook around 11:30 p.m., about 57 kilometers southeast of Victoria, within Washington borders. Environment Canada says the quake shook at a depth of 28.8 kilometers. Just over 1,500 people reported feeling it, the U.S. Geological Survey. Now, these blocks show those reports where they came from, most from Washington State, but a few from Greater Victoria and the Lower Mainland. A couple people say they felt it in Duncan and Nanaimo. All right, let's go back to our live coverage now of a press conference, a joint press conference between Premier Danielle Smith, the Alberta Premier, and Prime Minister Mark Carney. That is just moments away, but as you can see, they're still moving podiums around you, podiums and pipelines. We will cut to it as soon as that press conference begins, but we will continue to cover other news of the day and cut to that when it does happen. Let's come back to Vancouver Island now, though. It was a sea of red and white across the island on Wednesday, with the biggest party in Victoria's Inner Harbour, where tens of thousands of people came out to celebrate Canada Day.
And when I go out, well, you know I'm gonna be the...
Yeah, the party lasted all day long in the capital with food trucks, vendors, and live music starting at 4. Now, of course, the biggest crowds came later in the night for the fireworks show that started around 10:20. No shortage of oohs and ahs if you were lucky enough to get a good spot on the lawn. And while Victoria Police brought in extra officers, thankfully there were no major incidents to report. Vic PD says the Canada Day festivities have transitioned away from an alcohol-fueled event to more of a family-focused atmosphere. All right, time now to turn things over to our Upside guys who are hanging out with another very familiar face tonight, guys.
Yes, we are here with Liz Brown, rider number 25 according to your jersey for the Tour de Rock.
Yeah, that works.
Okay,
yeah.
And you've been working at your training since what? February?
Since March.
Since March.
Since March.
Wow.
We've increased the training. We're doing 3 times a week now, and we just hit our century ride, 100K.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Well,
so for those that don't know, Liz works at CHEK, and she's the media writer, one of the media writers this year for the Tour de Rock, which gets going in September. And we're here to relaunch Cookies for a Cause at the Old Farm Market. We're in Oak Bay, Cadboro Bay Road. We're in Duncan and Courtney as well. And come by the cookies and support Liz.
The cookies are the same delicious cookies they've always been.
I just had one. Very good.
Yes. And so we want to thank the Old Farm Market for helping Liz. I mean, it's every rider's responsibility to raise their own funds, and it's a daunting challenge. So the Old Farm Market has come to the rescue kind of again here.
They certainly have. Yeah, it is a big task, but we all do it, and it's really important. This cause matters. I mean, cancer impacts everybody, and so yeah, so grateful that the Old Farm Market is supporting us. Really appreciate it.
You've got some cancer in your family that you're dealing with.
Yes, yeah. My dad has cholangiocarcinoma. It's a rare type of cancer. It attacks the biliary tract, the bile that helps with digestion. And so I was actually back in Ontario. That's where my family lives, and I was there last week. So just to spend time together and and drive them to treatment and get a chance just to be there.
So you'll be riding, working hard for him and all the families on Vancouver Island that, of course, are battling cancer. And Camp Good Times is a big part of this whole True to Rock campaign. It funds all the families that go to Camp Good Times to get a break from the treatment and dealing with cancer. So that's a very important part of campaign.
That's right. Yeah, Camp Good Times is amazing. I actually got to meet one of our honorary families. We're paired up with junior riders,
right.
And so one of the families lives on Gabriola Island, and Aaron's little 5-year-old had a chance to go to Camp Good Times last summer, and just what a life-changing experience it was for him and the family to get some reprieve as they're fighting their own battle.
Absolutely.
And we know so many families across the island are as well. So, yeah.
All right, you can support Liz by, pretty simple, Paul. Come and eat some cookies and support Liz and support the Tour de Rock. And we're going to, I'm in. We can all. So I'll bring some to the station for you. We'll find out more from Liz and the Tour de Rock, which is in the 26th, 27th year, 29th year. I knew those numbers.
It's like me when I'm talking about my age. Yeah. And Jeff, Liz, we'll check in and hear more coming up. Thanks so much. Coming up, we're going to go live to Calgary for that major pipeline press conference, which is still not underway. Plus, rules of the road, some wild video from BC Highway Patrol, and the fines that this motorcyclist is now facing. Those stories next.
We live here, we work here.
And we care about getting your move right.
You Move Me provides big-hearted service.
With friendly, uniformed professional movers.
A stress-free move is within your reach.
Book your best move ever at youmove.com.
Keep up to date. I'm Sandra Richardson. Here's your Victoria Foundation Community Check-In.
The West Coast League's All-Star Game featuring top talent is the centerpiece of a 2-day festival with community events, player appearances, and a home run derby. Tickets are on sale now for the Saanich Peninsula Hospital Foundation's signature fundraising gala with an enchanted forest theme. Visit sphf.ca for tickets. Catch the color, the fun, and community spirit of the Victoria Pride Parade live on CHEK, CHEK Plus, or in person. Celebrations continue at the Pride Festival at McDonald Park. Register by August 7th for the Cascadia Liquor Charity Golf Tournament at Cedar Hill Golf Course, all in support of the Victoria Rainbow Kitchen Society. This celebration of folk music features headliner Chantal Kreviazik and others on multiple stages, plus an artisan market, local food vendors, and activities for the kids.
The Victoria Foundation, connecting people who care with causes that matter.
New Finish Quantum Ultra Max costs less than Cascade? This just makes sense.
It makes sense because nothing cleans better than Finish. See the cleaning power?
Whoa.
It costs less per wash. That's why it makes sense.
Attention, Finish is an unbeatable clean and value.
Don't let heat waves make your bedroom a little too steamy.
Beat the heat with 25% off almost everything, like mattresses, pillows, sheets, and more for a limited time. Only at Sleep Country.
Stay cool, Canada.
You might think all money managers are the same, but while some may push high commission investment products, Fisher Investments Canada avoids them. Some advisors may have complex fees. Fisher Investments Canada doesn't. Our fees are transparent and aligned with the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better. Maybe that's why so many investors switch to us. Fisher Investments Canada. Clearly different money management.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Island Eye Care, Victoria's dry eye treatment center. Do your eyes itch, water, or burn? Discover the long-term relief you deserve. Say goodbye to dry eye.
You're looking at a live shot from Calgary, Alberta, where Premier Danielle Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney are set to hold a joint news conference on the proposed pipeline project to the BC coast. That news conference, well, it was set to begin at 5 our time. It is now 5:19, but we will bring it to you as soon as it gets underway, and we will also have live reaction from Rob Shaw. Back to other news here in BC. Richmond RCMP providing an update on the search and recovery efforts to find 6 missing boaters along with their vessel after the fishing boat went down Sunday night. Mounties say crews are using sonar technology, but water conditions have been tough given the depth and the changing tides. RCMP says it will be a lengthy process, and even if they find the vessel today, it could take days to safely investigate, document, and recover. A Chilliwack man wrecked his motorcycle and his pocketbook after failing to follow the rules of the road. BC Highway Patrol released this video of an incident back in June. An officer turned on lights and sirens when the motorcyclist passed him on the shoulder, which is both illegal and dangerous. The rider did not stop, and as a result, he ran into a road sign, then into the back of a truck that was pulling over. The 37-year-old motorcyclist was arrested, his bike impounded, and he now faces hundreds of dollars in fines. Well, a controversial motion to close Victoria's only supervised consumption site went to a vote today. The topic sparked an emotional debate inside City Hall over how the capital should deal with the toxic drug crisis. Here's Chadis Leo.
Outside Victoria City Hall, advocates are braving the rain to protest Councillor Mark Gardner's motion to close the city's only supervised consumption site in the 900 block of Pandora.
This motion is trying to shut down a safe consumption site, which saves lives.
Closing OPS sites does not diminish drug use. It doesn't change the amount of people overdosing. It's only increasing it. There's just going to be more people that are dead on the streets.
Inside the council chambers, the debate was passionate and at times emotional.
My motion has been described by a fellow councillor as reckless and cruel. Nothing could be further from the truth.
It's the division that's happening in our community over this issue, and it is definitely affecting residents living downtown, and it is definitely affecting people who are in active and acute substance use disorder.
This is an incredibly dangerous time to close a safe consumption site.
On average, the harbor serves about 250 people a day for supervised consumption services. Gardner says the site should only supervise the use of prescribed drugs, arguing allowing people to use illegal substances only fuels addiction.
We need real change.
It's the second time in a year Gardner has put forward a motion like this. The DVBA, along with some residents in the area,
it is just dangerous to live here,
support what the councillor calls the most consequential motion she's ever presented.
In opposition?
In the end, the motion was defeated with only Gardner voting in favor.
I expected it to be turned down, but I believe that someone has to voice what is happening out there.
It is unrealistic to believe that simply closing a service is going to change the reality of drug use.
The mayor says Victoria needs more support from the province and Ottawa to tackle addiction and public disorder. When asked whether Pandora has improved nearly a year after the city's community safety and well-being plan was introduced, she had this to say.
Yeah, I do think it's looking better. Is it perfect? Of course not. Have we a lot more to do? Absolutely. Will we continue to do it? Yes, because we have to.
While the motion failed, the debate once again highlighted the growing divide over how Victoria should respond to the toxic drug crisis.
Meantime, restaurant patio fees will be going up every year in the capital, but they will not double in 2027 like previously planned. Back in 2023, Victoria approved the patio regulation bylaw, which included fees to occupy sidewalks and roads. The fees were set to double in 2025, but that was pushed to 2027 after feedback from the community. Today, councillors voted to keep the fees at the current level, but add an annual price increase based on the Consumer Price Index. That gives city staff a chance to research parking needs in the city. Well, the St. Andrew's Lodge in Qualicum Beach has been called the crown jewel of the region. It's been the heart of the town's tourism sector, but it's also been the focus of a 6-year fight. Here's Kendall Hansen.
Sam Little is virtually forgotten, and he contributed a lot to this town.
This is St. Andrew's Lodge today. It opened in 1938 and played a key role in hosting tourists for more than 80 years.
It was basically one of the cornerstones of the middle-class tourism industry in Qualicum Beach. And as a lot of people know, tourism is our main industry here.
The restoration pays ode to Elizabeth Little, who ran the lodge, and Sam Little, who designed it. Sam played an instrumental role in the building of Qualicum Beach.
And he's all but forgotten, but we're trying to revive the memory of him. He was an architect ahead of his time. He designed about 60 buildings in this area, including The current community hall, the old fire hall, the little church down by the railroad tracks, they're all still in use. They were that solid.
In November 2020, Qualicum Beach's town council approved its demolition for $40,000. But when trucks rolled up, protesters got in the way. The demolition was delayed, and then council had a change of heart.
They rose up, protested, and council listened and heard, and we changed the direction. And as a result of that, it took 5 years of hard work to see this building restored.
These are before the restoration began, and these are after. It took a monumental community effort, including seismic, electrical, and heating upgrades, and involving over 120 volunteers, nearly $700,000, including a federal grant.
It's been all fundraising, grants, people writing checks, and thousands of hours of volunteer labor. You know, it's been a great community to work with. We count ourselves very lucky.
I think it's fabulous. It has an atmosphere that makes you want to move in. It's a very warm building, and I think Elizabeth Little's character is still here.
Very few people thought they could do it, because we were told to restore the building with seismic upgrade you would need $600,000-$700,000. But they did.
The Society plans to rent the lodge out for community use. This Saturday, the Society will hold a grand reopening. All welcome for cake, music, and tours, among other events, a celebration of a massive effort to save a piece of Qualicum Beach history.
For Canada to have the chance to compete under our own flag.
Still ahead, Euro Trip, when Canada is set to return to one of the biggest music competitions on the planet. That's next.
Canadian dollar with a slight gain today. The TSX up 109 and the Dow climbing by nearly 595. The Nasdaq fell 207 points. Gold climbing 43.30 an ounce, and oil is up 11 cents to 68.69 a barrel.
Everything seemed okay. I thought maybe my helmet got the worst of it, but I went in just in case. There were a lot of other patients in the ER, but they insisted on running tests. I felt fine, but the nurses wanted to keep an eye on me. That's when they found the brain bleed. I didn't realize it was an emergency. Thankfully, the nurses did.
Feel right at home with the Comfort Group. Whether it's cold or hot outside, you need comfort inside. From Victoria to Campbell River, the Comfort Group is the name homeowners trust for total home comfort. Delivering heating and cooling built for the island climate, the Comfort Group is your local heat pump expert. Heating, cooling, and electrical. Trusted comfort for every home, for every season. The Comfort Group.
Now's a great time to set goals to reach your financial success.
Maybe you want to make a few updates to your home.
Or anything else you've been dreaming of accomplishing. How would you use $80, $280, or even $2.8 million?
Call us today.
CapitalDirect.ca.
Look at all of those people.
Live July 12th, Victoria Pride Society presents Victoria Pride Parade.
It's our community coming together.
Because love is love.
Hosted by your favorite weekend news team, Scott V and Tess Van Stratton.
So incredible.
With special guest Eddie Licious. Coverage starts at 11:15 on CHEK, CHEK Plus, and YouTube. Brought to you by Third Space Movement and Helijet.
Proudly supported by CHEK.
Do you have any strawberries?
We sure do. And they're extra fresh.
Oh.
A little extra freshness can mean a lot. Save on foods.
Michelin innovates on the road and far beyond by developing an inflatable sail aimed at reducing CO2 emissions in maritime travel. Michelin, motion for life.
Magnesium plays a role in over 800 enzymatic reactions in the body, yet over 40% of Canadians aren't getting enough of this essential mineral. Get the support your body needs with CanPrev's magnesium formulas. Available at Lifestyle Markets, dedicated to wellness in our community.
This week we're celebrating America's 250th birthday with Coca-Cola.
Celebrate a new chance to win at home with Coca-Cola, sponsor of Universal Destinations and Experiences in the Drink in America giveaway.
Wheel of Fortune, Monday to Saturday at 7 on CHEK.
This CHEK program is brought to you in part by Bathfitter. Book your free consultation at bathfitter.com.
When local news matters the most, CHEK now sends updates right to your inbox. Local news, local events, local people, 7 days a week. Subscribe on checknews.ca. Proudly supported by Bathfitter. Book your free consultation at bathfitter.com.
We continue to monitor our breaking news in Calgary, where Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney are set to hold a joint news conference on the proposed pipeline project to the BC coast. Of course, we are getting word this news conference, which was set to begin at 5 Pacific, will in fact begin in the next 10 minutes, although we have heard that before. We will go to it live as soon as it starts. Well, the capital of Ukraine reeling in the wake of a massive drone and missile attack launched by Russian forces. More than 20 people killed, dozens wounded after Kyiv was targeted, including a 9-story apartment building. Although Russia claimed it only hit military targets in response to Ukrainian strikes on refineries. Ukraine calling it a weak spot for Russia, which they will continue to press. The Trump administration is opting not to extend the trade agreement with Canada and Mexico, triggering tough negotiations to amend the deal. Now, this does not kill the current CUSMA agreement, which doesn't expire until 2036, but Wednesday was the deadline to extend the deal to 2042 or renegotiate the terms. Some exciting news for Canadian music fans. Canada will participate in the 2027 Eurovision Song Contest, and some say the move is a way to strengthen Canada's ties to Europe.
Fireworks, extravagant costumes, and fierce competition in the world's most popular singing contest, soon to feature Canada.
It's about to get even better, even wilder.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, a personal fan of Eurovision, announcing that Canada will participate in Bulgaria next year. The contest, which draws tens of millions of viewers, sees singers battle it out by performing original songs.
The world wants Canada, wants Canadian culture.
The decision comes less than a week after CBC Radio-Canada became a full member of the European Broadcasting Union, a requirement to join the contest. The federal government first teased the idea in the 2025 budget, with funding set aside to explore participation in Eurovision.
The Canadian government is really facing Europe, so joining the contest, I think, is arguably a way in which Canada can be more European.
Canadians have taken to the Eurovision stage before. Céline Dion won on behalf of Switzerland in 1988, Natacha Saint-Pierre in 2001, and Lazara in 2023.
It's really exciting.
Canadian Laurel Barker has written songs for other nations in the contest.
So it's just amazing for Canada to have the chance to compete under our own flag.
Competing comes at a cost, a tiered entry fee and production expenses. For Canada, the total would likely be $500,000, according to this expert.
The question of why are we spending money on a European Song Contest, I think those are questions that I think are legit and we're going to need some answers to.
Health Check is brought to you by Maycock Eye Care, helping you keep sight of what's important since 1949.
Well, despite confusion and controversy, an extensive review of mRNA vaccines has just been released, showing the vaccines are not just safe and effective, but also much safer than getting COVID. And now they're showing promise in treating a range of other diseases, including cancer.
Several years and billions of doses later, an extensive review of mRNA vaccines is out. It weighs their safety, effectiveness, and the public's trust in them.
The question they're really asking is around the safety of the vaccine and how do we know that they're safe?
The review, published in The Lancet, looked at all clinical trials, real-world data, research, and case reports from January 2020 through to December 2025. One core finding, the vaccine is much safer than the infection. While heart inflammation is a rare vaccine side effect, catching COVID put people at a far higher risk for those exact same heart issues. Ultimately, the protection heavily outweighed the risks.
I think it's really important for people to understand that the basic technology is safe and effective when it comes to vaccines.
The scope was more extensive than we typically see.
But scientists say people may be rightfully confused about the issue.
mRNA vaccines don't perform well.
Some say the real fight was likely over freedom of choice.
It was this association of vaccines with being forced to be vaccinated rather than an inherent issue with the vaccine itself that led to, I think, a lot of pushback.
The review also reminds us that mRNA vaccines don't linger in the body. They deliver a quick set of genetic instructions, offering your immune system a preview of the virus before disappearing. Long before the pandemic, mRNA technology was being developed to attack cancer cells.
The logic behind it is if our immune system knows that there are cancer cells and attack them, the chances of a relapse or the cancer coming back would be much lower.
With clinical trials now underway for several major cancers, the hope is a proven track record will build trust.
All right, here's a live shot from Calgary. As you can see, things actually happening now. People in suits lining up. That generally means we're about to get a press conference, which will begin very shortly. Until then, let's bring back Rob Shaw. And Rob, the Prime Minister was supposed to be speaking at 5. You can understand how he'd be a little bit late. It's been a busy day for the Prime Minister, starting in Vancouver with a major announcement. Maybe give us the Coles notes and fill us in on what people need to know.
Yeah, well, the Prime Minister meeting Premier David Eby this morning for a memorandum of agreement on essentially what is looking to be here like a southern pipeline route from Alberta to British Columbia, $20 billion in cash on the table in different forms for BC, including upgrades to the Roberts Bank terminal in Delta. You probably have noticed that if you've been on the BC ferries into Tsawwassen. It's that big port-looking thing when you land to your left. That could be upgraded for tankers as well. So that's one of the questions we're going to wait to see at this press conference here. Who are the private proponents? There's a flurry of activity online suggesting Pembina Corporation might be part of this, which would be interesting because they're a player in BC's LNG sector and natural gas sector, as well as Trans Mountain Corporation, which is a Crown corporation that the federal government bought and has a fare structure similar to kind of BC Ferries as well, where it's a one shareholder type model. So we could have like a consortium possibly at play here with Alberta, and we'll wait to see what they have to say about that as well. And then we'll be looking for where's the money coming from, how First Nations buy into this. Is contingent from the federal government that First Nations become equity partners. Ottawa today offering in this MOU with BC the idea of loans for First Nations. So the money coming from Ottawa to then be used to buy in to this project for nations along the corridor, presumably following the Trans Mountain route, which is already engineered. There's one and a twinned pipeline there. So this would be like a third pipeline at 1 million barrels of oil a day. A lot of details, Paul, sort of kind of landing here at the last second as we wait to see. You see those officials lined up. That's usually, they got their hands in front of them. That's usually a sign that the Prime Minister's about to arrive. He's had a very busy schedule crossing the country, meeting the Premier who just arrived back from China to do that. So you have politicians crisscrossing the world here to make these announcements in a very busy day today.
Yeah, very busy indeed. And as we mentioned, we will bring that to you as soon as it begins. Still figuring out the finer points of the press conference. They still got to test all those microphones and everything. But just when you bring up that opposition, that's been pretty steady from BC, especially after that memorandum of understanding was signed between Alberta and Ottawa. And there was quite vocal opposition from so many different ones. So why was it important for the Prime Minister to then come and sign that memorandum of understanding with BC today to let him know, look, I hear you, I see you, but this is getting done?
Yeah, well, the Prime Minister talks about cooperative federalism a lot. And as Premier Eby pointed out today, he didn't have to do this deal. He could have just forced the pipeline through British Columbia, but he did because he wants to show Canada working together as this Team Canada approach to fight off American trade aggression. He's also spent time talking to coastal First Nations as well, so it was important for him to be here on that also. And looks like we're some talking going on here. Paul, I'll kick it back to you.
Yeah, the Prime Minister now speaking, just arrived with the Premier of Alberta. Let's listen in.
I was sorry, by the way, let me start by just with a quick apologies. The weather biblical weather last night in Ottawa meant that I couldn't make it to Edmonton, couldn't make it to Mill Woods for Canada Day, to celebrate Canada Day, but I am thrilled to be here in Calgary today to celebrate Canada Strong Day. 3 weeks ago, Premier and I had a discussion after this, immediately after, but 3 weeks ago in France, the G7 leaders called on Canada to provide the reliable energy that the world needs to realize our full potential as an energy superpower. This morning I was in BC, I was in Vancouver with Premier Eby. We announced a landmark agreement that does a number of things, seizes opportunity through major energy projects, new trade corridors, critical minerals developments, projects that will help move Canadian energy to new markets, new partners around the world. Cet après-midi, je me suis entretenu avec le président Marcos des Philippines, un pays de 120 millions d'habitants, l'un des marchés émergents les plus florissants dans le monde, et nous sommes sur le point de conclure 2 accords importants qui augmenteront près de 200% nos échanges commerciaux bilatéraux d'ici 2035, et nous avons eu une discussion très complexe, très fondamentale sur les occasions d'énergie d'Alberta, d'énergie canadienne. Now, this evening, I'm very pleased to join Premier Smith here in Calgary to announce new measures that will unlock Alberta's energy for the world. These measures will build the strength of our entire country. They will take control of our future. They will bolster our sovereignty. Today's announcements, and this is a lowball figure. You don't normally get lowball figures from politicians. This is a lowball figure. Canadians' announcements will catalyze well over $200 billion in direct investments in Canada, create over 175,000 new jobs across the country, and we are just getting started. These benefits will be shared widely, including with Indigenous peoples as full partners, and they will create resources for the social programs on which Canadians rely. This is cooperative federalism at work. It's the kind of unity and collaboration that Albertans and Canadians rightly expect. They expect it on principle, and they expect it because it's required for Canada to prosper in a rapidly changing world. Parce que c'est la bonne réponse à une crise énergétique sur 3 niveaux, la vulnérabilité, la sécurité et le climat. Nos alliés le reconnaissent et les Canadiens et Canadiens le savent. You asked for it, we promised it, now we are delivering. Because when we work together, Canada controls its future. This is a new approach that helps us reach our full potential, one that builds in partnership, the federal government, Alberta, British Columbia, partnership with territories, partnership with Indigenous peoples, partnership with the private sector. Indigenous peoples full partners in development, operating, and equity ownership. We've agreed, or at least I think that's what's in the submission that I may get momentarily, that the best route for a new pipeline is one that goes through one that already exists, south through the Trans Mountain Corridor to our Pacific coast, the gateway to the world's fastest growing markets. We've already agreed to reform carbon markets so they promote real emissions. We've already agreed to substantial methane reductions and to new measures, new incentives and reforms so that power markets can grow sustainably and affordably, and this being Alberta, significantly. We will maintain, the federal government will maintain the tanker ban to protect Canada's coastlines and precious habitats, and consistent with the MOU as a prerequisite for the pipeline, the Government of Canada, the Government of Alberta, and the Oil Sands Alliance, the 5 companies in the Oil Sands Alliance, have now agreed on the terms to launch the Pathways Project, the world's largest carbon capture and utilization and storage project, which together with other emission reduction commitments in the agreement will achieve 16 million tons of emissions reductions per year, or the equivalent of taking 90% of the cars in Alberta off the road. Critically, what we've agreed is that the time for action is now. We will refer a submission that I may receive, Alberta's West Coast pipeline project proposal immediately to the Major Projects Office. Consultations will begin immediately with Indigenous communities, relevant provinces and territories to determine listing under the Building Canada Act by October 1st, as per our agreement. Cet accord est bien plus qu'une entente entre deux gouvernements. Il donne aux entreprises la certitude dont elles ont besoin pour investir et bâtir. This is more than just an accord. It's also an approach that gives certainty to our businesses to build. Canada and Alberta will be equal partners in this project. As I said, meaningful ownership stakes available for Indigenous communities. We'll also benefit from Indigenous contracting and employment alongside funding to strengthen that capacity. The Trans Mountain Corporation will plan and construct the pipeline. They will work closely with Pembina Pipeline Corporation, who will bring its private sector expertise, its capital discipline to the construction and operation of the pipeline. And I'd like to thank the CEO, Scott Burrows, for his leadership and his presence. We are all living through a moment of unprecedented global volatility. Our role as government is to be a catalyst. Part of being a catalyst is to bring greater certainty, reduce risks facing private capital so there's more opportunity and more energy when shovels hit the ground. Ensemble, l'oléoduc.
You're watching a live press conference from Calgary. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Premier Danielle Smith announcing the new Alberta pipeline project. Let's quickly bring in Rob Shaw. And Rob, we're going to have full coverage coming up at the top of CHEK News at 6. I know you have to listen back in, but just some quick reaction. What are you hearing?
Yeah, well, as we were talking about before this, the two players here are the Trans Mountain Pipeline Corporation, which is taxpayer-owned. Ottawa bought that for around $4 billion in 2018. So there is a component of public money, it looks like, going to build this in partnership with the Pembina Pipeline Corporation, which, as we were talking about earlier, has a 49% stake in Cedar LNG on the West Coast, which is one of the projects mentioned in BC's MOU today, along with the Haisla Nation. So you have a kind of tying together of all of these companies along a southern route following Trans Mountain's existing pipelines, creating a very interesting project we're going to be breaking apart and dissecting in the days to come.
Yes, and you're going to be breaking it down and dissecting in just a couple of minutes, because CHEK News at 6 will start in just about 15 minutes time. Thanks so much, Rob. That's Rob Shaw. He's going to go back to listening to that press conference and have that full report coming up at the top of CHEK News at 6. But right now I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Ed Bain, who's also standing by. Lots of moving pieces right now, but you're in front of cookies,
yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, and we're on time. You know, we were here ready to go, so we were ready. But we're glad to be on here right now. And we're glad to be here at the Old Farm Market again, because once again, they have stepped up to take on the Cookies for a Cause campaign. And this time, the proceeds are going to go help our friend Liz Brown, who's one of our co-workers at CHEK, who's riding in the Tour de Rock this year. So all sales from any of these delicious cookies, the Upside cookies, will help benefit her campaign for the Tour de Rock. We're going to find out more about that on the Upside as we carry on, but we're here at the Cadborough Bay location. They have two other locations, Courtenay and in Duncan as well, where you can buy these cookies and help that cause, and that's why they're called Cookies for a Cause. All right, here's our deal on the Futurecast. It's raining because we have a pretty sizable system that's bumping in, and you can see the rain starting to roll in here with the green showing up on the map. We've got showers pushed in from that system. Jet stream has popped up a little bit, so temperatures are getting closer to normal here. And then by Saturday, we should have a replacement system in place, and that will be high pressure, and that should get those temperatures back into the 20 and 23 degree range, and some sunshine returning, but still going to be unsettled here, at least for a piece of tomorrow. All right, let's go to the north and check out the next 24 hours. So showers are coming tonight and tomorrow. Not a lot of change here between the low and the high, 12 to 13 there for Port Hardy, Port McNeill and Port Alice. Seward gets a few showers and a few sunny breaks and a high of 19. On to the west now for Tofino and Port Alberni, where temperatures will be around the 15-degree mark on the coast, but around 20 for the Alberni Valley. Both areas carrying a shower chance for the morning. And as we get to the east section now, the Comox Valley and Campbell River, kind of the same pattern. Unsettled here, below seasonal at 19, about a 40% shower chance for the morning. Same deal for Nanaimo, Ladysmith, and Duncan. Hope to see a few breaks of sunshine here and there in the mix as well. 21 for high temperatures there, so that actually is seasonal for Nanaimo, Ladysmith, and Duncan. And then down to the south here, we've had a pretty steady afternoon of showers, and we're going to continue to see that through the night and overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning we'll start off a little bit damp, and then we should see cloud-covered days for the most part. It's a mainly cloudy forecast for us. We'll get around a 19-degree high. Not bad up in Salt Spring area, or over in Salt Spring with a 21-degree high and occasional sunshine sneaking out there. All right, on to the BC map we go. Same deal for Vancouver. A couple of morning showers, a couple of sunny breaks in the afternoon. 21 there, 27 for Kamloops. Thunder showers into Prince George, Cranbrook, and Williams Lake tomorrow. And as we get out to the across Canada maps here, both Edmonton and Calgary looking for thunder showers tomorrow. Stampede Parade, by the way, kicks off tomorrow in Calgary. Thunder showers again into Regina and Winnipeg. Heat warnings up here for Toronto, Ottawa, Halifax, all looking at humidex factors of the low 40s. 43 is what it'll feel like in Toronto for tomorrow. And St. John's getting a couple of showers in 24. All right, what's down the stretch? Well, here's the North Island first off, as always. We still have some wet weather to get through before the sun pokes out on Sunday. Rain coming for Saturday. Showers again Monday, Tuesday at 60 and 70% likelihood, and then a dry Wednesday. Central Island, a few showers and a few sunny breaks at 19 tomorrow. Cloudy and dry Saturday, and then the ridge will kick in and start to clear things out nicely for Sunday. 23s and 24s ahead for Sunday, Monday. Mixes of sun and cloud Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the Central. And then down to the southern tip, Greater Victoria and the rest of the southern island will see morning showers followed by a mostly cloudy Friday, but then a nice run of sunshine after that. Weekend temperatures 20, 23 for Sunday, low 20s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with some sunshine forecast in all those 3 days. All right, to our celebrations tonight for Country Grocer, we say happy anniversary to Marilyn and Dennis Perry on their 60th in Bowser, and Ron and Betty Tiefenbach up in Maple Bay, celebrating 60 years together as well. Anniversary tonight for a couple of great friends and a couple of great people. Barb and Dave Cutler, we know them well, and they're great folks celebrating their 60th anniversary. So we hope, Barb, you and Super Toe there, Dave, have had a great day today. And happy anniversary as well to Valerie and Larry Brooks from Statue Lake, 60 years together for Valerie and Larry. All right, anniversary for Johann and Helen Jansen over in Powell River. 60 years anniversary today for Johann and Helen. And an anniversary for Joni and Wilson Winatoy, celebrating 60 years in Ladysmith. Anniversary today for Vampire and Glenn Sweeter. We hope we've got that name right there. So congratulations on your 60th in Ladysmith. And Reg and Joyce Brooks, happy 66th anniversary to you in Nanaimo. Birthday for Pat Horrocks, 95 today in Salt Spring. And a birthday for Josephine, or Joey Edwards, in Nanaimo, formerly of Ucluelet. 97 today for Josephine. And two more to go here. Irene Richardson in Sydney. Happy 97th to you, Irene. And a happy 97th birthday to Ron Manzier up in Parksville as well. So congratulations to everybody. All right, we're coming back. We're going to talk to Liz Brown about the Tour de Rock and all that entails on the upside when we return here from the Old Farm Market on Cabra Bay Road in Oak Bay.
Old Farm Market. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Ed.
Checkpoint is brought to you by Travel and RV. Now in the Cowichan Valley and Parksville. Get your affordable, reusable vacation today.
For tonight's poll question, we are asking, does BC have enough input on pipeline projects that run through the province? And so far, 52% say no, 48% say yes, still close. You can still have your say. Just head to checknews.ca.
The Real Estate Report is presented by Rennie. Make confident real estate decisions with real-time intelligence. Trusted throughout British Columbia.
Homes in Greater Victoria are currently on the market for an average of 27 days. That compares to the average of 35 days on the rest of Vancouver Island.
I'm Ed Bain. Your full island forecast is coming up, but first, here's a look at weather around the world. Extreme heat for Lisbon today at 38 degrees. Down in New Zealand, Christchurch at a mix and 12. And rain and 17 for Oslo, Norway.
Weather around the world is brought to you by ComSense Cabinets. Designed for your space, built for your life.
Welcome back to the 90s, where play went next level. This was the era of street sports, big teams, and endless after-school adventures. Recreation grew, families got moving, and our centers became the place to connect. Rewind, refresh, recreate. Relive the fun at West Shore Parks and Recreation.
Bladder leaks, medically called incontinence, have become a silent epidemic. Those leaks that we've been told to consider normal are impacting our quality of life. 46% of women with incontinence give up exercise, and 45% give up intimacy. I didn't want to be that statistic. It's why I founded Eurospot. We combine the best of technology with world-class education so you can live the life you deserve. Get ahead of the problem and end bladder leaks, frequency, and urgency.
Now is a great time to help you set goals to help you reach financial success.
Maybe you want to reach that success by making a few updates to your home.
Or anything else you've been dreaming of accomplishing.
A Capital Direct FlexiLine can get you there.
How would you use $80,000, $280,000, or even $2.8 million?
For your best financial health, choose FlexiLine Fitness from Capital Direct.
Call us today.
CapitalDirect.ca.
Live viewing on the big screen, live entertainment, and free family-friendly programming. Experience the Summer of Soccer in downtown Victoria. Catch the action at participating bars, pubs, and community events until July 19th. Visit dvba.ca/Summer of Soccer.
We're investing in our communities, where we work, live, and play. We're supporting the places we call home. Fortis BC, energy for a better BC.
Wendy's new pickle menu is a collab with me. Bill Pickle! Canada's best pickler, and the GOAT of all pickle menus. Iconic. The classic chicken and the spicy. Look at all those pickles on there. Come on! Wendy's new pickle menu is served.
Duradeck. Rain or shine, we've got you covered.
What questions could Ancestry help you answer? Who came before me? Where else have we called home? What journeys shaped us? With so many answers to be found, what will you ask first?
I used to think that nothing can stop me. Then I faced bladder cancer and even leaks an opponent I could not run. But I knew I had to stay in the game. So take it from me. Don't be afraid to try the pin guards. It changes everything but you.
Sitting on the sidelines is not in this family's DNA.
These guys are the real deal. They do anything for each other, and anything for the greater good. My book, you're a lucky man counting them as your family.
Blue Bloods, Wednesday and Thursday nights at 8.
Congratulations! Time to ride on the flip side.
Flip side, weekdays at noon on CHEK. The Upside is brought to you by IBEW Local 230.
We are fighting for time thanks to the Prime Minister, so let's go right to the upside, guys. Jeff.
That guy's always, he's burning me, that guy. Listen, we're at the Old Farm Market. We're talking cookies. We're talking Tour de Rock. This is Liz Brown, one of our great colleagues that's going to ride the Tour de Rock. The best looking man in the grocery game, Chris Steele, the GM of the 3 Old Farm Markets. And we're going to start with Cookies for a Cause because we're relaunching them, Chris, and the money's going to the TDR.
That's right, baby. It's time to help somebody else out.
Yeah. Well, I love that, and let's talk about your commitment to the Tour de Rock. The training's going, and the big ride's coming up in just a couple months.
It is coming up. It's in September, so I'm going to have to do a lot more training if I'm going to eat all these cookies. But I'm up for the challenge. I have a big sweet tooth, so I'm ready for it. But yeah, we've got. We did our observatory trial run in May, and then we do part 2 of that in September. Hopefully everybody's improved their time.
Yeah.
But the big one is Mount Washington, and that happens later this month, and that's individual rides up, time trial for that as well.
Well, I'm proud alumni myself, and I mean the training and the conditioning is one thing, but it's the emotional part of it. And sadly, right now your dad's battling cancer, so you're going through a bit of a struggle, and obviously some real motivation as you train right now.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's he's always fresh on my mind when I'm riding out there. And I know it's not just me, it's a lot of the riders too. We all know somebody who's going through something. It definitely makes me feel closer and more connected when I'm far away. And I think as well with the families on the island too, it's a worthwhile cause just to be out there. And I mean, people going through treatment, they don't get to take breaks. And a rainy day like this, my team's riding tonight, right. And that's in the back of my mind too. You know, you don't get a day off because it's raining, and the kids don't get a day off, and nobody does. So yeah, we're out there for them.
Yeah, and Cookies for a Cause born sadly because one of your employees, their little one, has been battling as well.
Yeah, but really got through it in the last year and better than ever now. But yeah, this, again, causes like this are so close to our hearts. So many people are affected by cancer in this world, and yeah, we'd love to be able to give back in ways that we can.
Yeah. Supports Camp Good Times, and I know you get your visit coming up soon. We're going to talk about more next hour. Sadly, we're out of time right now, but Cookies for a Cause, get out of the Old Farm Market. We're on Cadboro Bay Road. They're out in Duncan. They're up in Courtenay. Liz is an amazing human being. Sponsor her, and hopefully we have a big total, Paul, and we'll find out more about Liz's story coming up next hour.
All right, I'm heading right over there to go buy some cookies. Thanks so much, Jeff. CHEK News at 6 starts right now.
This agreement, without doubt, and I appreciate it, is a strong vote of confidence in the role that British Columbia will play in driving forward this new Canadian vision.
The deal struck between Ottawa and BC, and the latest on the Alberta pipeline plan.
Nurses are saying is enough, and they are demonstrating their unity.
BC nurses start limited job action. What that could mean for patients. Plus,
Three weeks ago, Premier and I had a discussion after this, immediately after, but 3 weeks ago in France, the G7 leaders called on Canada to provide the reliable energy that the world needs to realize our full potential as an energy superpower.
Alberta selected a southern route from Bruderheim, Alberta, to a deep-water VLCC-capable port terminal on BC's southwest coast. With the help of our technical advisory group made up of industry experts, we determined that this route offers the fastest, most cost-effective path to expanding Canada's energy exports.
well, that just happening a few minutes ago. Tonight, Prime Minister Mark Carney in Calgary, along with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, announcing measures that Carney says will unlock Alberta's energy resources and the future of a new West Coast bitumen pipeline. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith also announcing and unveiling the proposed route for the new pipeline to BC's southwest coast. Good evening and thanks for joining us. And Prime Minister Mark Carney has been toggling between BC and Alberta for announcements connected to the new West Coast oil pipeline. Carney's BC announcement unveiled a plan to help unlock more than $200 billion in new investment while maintaining the oil tanker ban off the North Coast. Mary Griffin has more.
A celebratory handshake before a multi-billion-dollar announcement.
Premier Eby and I are announcing a landmark Canada-British Columbia Cooperative Prosperity Agreement. This agreement is comprehensive, it's ambitious, and it will help transform the entire Canadian economy.
The agreement includes $10 billion to expand the Roberts Bank terminal in Tsawwassen to increase capacity, and $3 billion for expanding the George Massey Tunnel from 4 lanes to 8. Also, at least $3.5 billion for the North Coast transmission line to power LNG, and $500 million for the expansion of the Red Chris mine to boost copper production, and $630 million in affordable childcare to support the estimated 100,000 skilled trade workers necessary for all the projects. The Prime Minister offered hope that a northern BC pipeline route favored by Alberta's Danielle Smith may be off the table.
We're also clear that today's Canada-BC agreement will maintain the federal North Coast tanker ban in accordance with the proposed route of a new trans-provincial pipeline under the bilateral agreement with Canada and Alberta.
That's music to the ears of the First Nations who have fought any northern route.
As a coastal community, we're very pleased. It's a good day for our people. It's a good day for the Great Bear Sea. And it's something that, we've been working hard, advocating to make sure that, our coast is protected.
Premier Eby settled the issue of fighting any proposed northern pipeline route.
Pipelines are federal jurisdiction. That's why this agreement matters. It ensures that the northern tanker ban stays in place. And it ensures that if a pipeline goes ahead, that British Columbians are fairly compensated for the environmental risks we would take on any new pipeline project.
The agreement also includes details for developing BC's export market for LNG and improving protection for orca populations along the west coast.
And Rob Shaw is joining us now from the BC Legislature for more on what's transpired today and really in the last 20 minutes, Rob, as the Prime Minister and Alberta's Premier have been speaking. And we've been talking about this pipeline idea for almost a year now. And so how does what happened today fit into all of that?
Yeah, what is the culmination of Alberta Premier Danielle Smith's vision for this pipeline that the Prime Minister got on board with? The details just coming in, Andy, as we're speaking here. It is a $43 billion project, a 1,500-kilometer pipeline that would go from Edmonton to Roberts Bank in Delta. That's the port terminal you see when you're arriving on the Tsawwassen Ferry to your left there. It would be declared in the national interest by the federal government this fall. Approvals by 2027 and construction done by the mid-2030s. This is not a completely private project, despite the discussion the last number of months. The Pembina Pipeline Corporation, which is a major player in BC's natural gas sector, signing on for a 10% share as a public-private partnership alongside the Trans Mountain Corporation. You might remember that, purchased by the federal government in 2018 for $4.5 billion. The Prime Minister and the Premier asked today, is there taxpayer money going into this pipeline? The response, maybe. It's an investment. Who knows exactly how much so far? So, Andy, that is one of the big questions that's coming on here is how much money? Is this profitable? Is it going to go forward? But certainly a southern route, which is what BC wanted. So that's a win for BC. A lot of money for the BC government to keep it happy here. And looks like Alberta is happy with this as well. So it's all coalescing into a very unique, very different oil pipeline project that is, as we speak, the details are just coming out.
Of course, everyone, Rob, wants to know what's next. Where do we go from here now with this project?
Well, what's going to happen is this will be referred to the Prime Minister, who has said today he's basically going to make this a national project designation later this fall. That fast tracks it through approvals. You get through that by 2027. You get construction in the ground and this pipeline by 2034 potentially. That is the kind of timeline here. There's final investment decisions made along the way. So that is kind of the benchmarks that we're going to see as this project develops. It'll take a long time, Andy. This is not going to lower the price of gas at the local pump anytime soon, but it will generate more than $200 billion of economic activity and 175,000 jobs. So there is that as well, Andy.
Yeah, great stuff, Rob. Obviously, we've been listening over the last 20 minutes, so this has been coming fast and furious at us, so we appreciate your breakdown tonight. That's Rob Shaw at the BC Legislature tonight. Well, targeted job action by BC nurses has started at several work sites in BC after their noon deadline passed today. The union says nurses have stopped doing non-nursing duties, hoping to have minimal impact on patient care. Here's Eden Chipperfield.
The last thing we want to do is to withdraw labor.
The 72-hour strike notice issued by BC nurses expired at noon today. And with no deal in place, BC nurses are taking targeted job action across BC. This initial phase targets non-nursing duties. Nurses are also banned from non-essential overtime, answering phones, cleaning, and processing doctors' orders.
So these are tasks that certainly are essential to the delivery of healthcare, but they do not require a professional nursing designation to complete them.
The escalation motion follows a historic strike vote with more than 50,000 nurses voting 98.2% in favor of job action after 67% of members rejected a tentative agreement on May 22nd. The union wants a deal that addresses general wage increases and improves nurse retention and workplace safety.
Both of these job actions are designed in mind not to impact patient care. Our goal is to apply pressure on the employer.
In a statement, the Nurses Bargaining Association says it believes further escalation can be avoided if the provincial government returns to the table with a mandate to address nurses' concerns meaningfully.
We want a system where patients can access and get the appropriate care they need, whereas nurses, we feel valued, we feel safe, and that our workloads are reasonable, and that it's just not it's not getting better. So basically what nurses are saying is enough. And they are demonstrating their unity.
In the meantime, strike headquarters are set up across BC as the union waits for a response from the province. We did reach out to the province but did not hear back by our deadline. The union says it's willing to meet anytime and its bargaining team is on standby.
Well, a controversial motion to close Victoria's only supervised consumption site went to a vote today. The topic sparking an emotional debate inside City Hall over how the capital should deal with the toxic drug crisis. Jadis Leo reports.
Outside Victoria City Hall, advocates are braving the rain to protest Councillor Mark Gardner's motion to close the city's only supervised consumption site in the 900 block of Pandora.
This motion is trying to shut down a safe consumption site, which saves lives.
Closing OPS sites does not diminish drug use. It doesn't change the amount of people overdosing. It's only increasing it. There's just going to be more people that are dead on the streets.
Inside the council chambers, the debate was passionate and at times emotional.
My motion has been described by a fellow councillor as reckless and cruel. Nothing could be further from the truth.
It's the division that's happening in our community over this issue, and it is definitely affecting residents living downtown, and it is definitely affecting people who are in active and acute substance use disorder.
This is an incredibly dangerous time to close a safe consumption site.
On average, the harbor serves about 250 people a day for supervised consumption services. Gardner says the site should only supervise the use of prescribed drugs, arguing allowing people to use illegal substances only fuels addiction.
We need real change.
It's the second time in a year Gardner has put forward a motion like this. The DVBA, along with some residents in the area,
it is just dangerous to live here,
support what the councillor calls the most consequential motion she's ever presented.
In opposition?
In the end, the motion was defeated with only Gardner voting in favor.
I expected it to be turned down, but I believe that someone has to voice what is happening out there.
It is unrealistic to believe that simply closing a service is going to change the reality of drug use.
The mayor says Victoria needs more support from the province and Ottawa to tackle addiction and public disorder. When asked whether Pandora has improved nearly a year after the city's community safety and well-being plan was introduced, she had this to say.
Yeah, I do think it's looking better. Is it perfect? Of course not. Have we a lot more to do? Absolutely. Will we continue to do it? Yes, because we have to.
While the motion failed, the debate once again highlighted the growing divide over how Victoria should respond to the toxic drug crisis.
A 3.7 magnitude earthquake shook around 11:30, about 57 kilometers southeast of Victoria within Washington borders. Environment Canada says the quake shook at a depth of 28.8 kilometers. Just over 1,500 people reported feeling it. The U.S. Geological Survey, those blocks show the reports, most from Washington State, but a few from Greater Victoria and the Lower Mainland. A couple of people say they felt it in Duncan and Nanaimo as well. All right, time to turn things over to Ed Bain and Jeff King. We're at the Old Farm Market tonight. Tour de Rock, his big theme for tonight, is they're closing in on their ride. We're a couple months away still, but it's getting faster and faster. And gentlemen, what have you got going on there tonight?
Well, and Liz Brown, of course, our colleague from CHEK, is riding as a media rider this year, and she's also getting faster and faster in her training. We're going to talk to Liz in a little while. But we're here at the Old Farm Market on Cadborough Bay, surrounded by great produce, great friends, beautiful flowers, and cookies. What a night!
I'm staying over.
Yeah,
I'm sleeping bag in my truck. I'm staying over tonight. Chris Steele, the best-looking man in the grocery game, is the GM of all Old Farm Markets up and down the island. Our new friend Ella Bethune, who's with Fond Floral, and you're going to be setting up shop here soon. Tell us all about it, Ella.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be having a little flower pop-up shop in the Old Farm Market. I have a flower farm out in North Saanich, and I'm going to be bringing fresh cut flower bouquets, locally grown, to the Old Farm Market all season long.
They're beautiful, and it gets no more local than that. You're planting them, you're growing them, you're harvesting them, and you're bringing them in here to the storefront. So, and I love the arrangements you've done here. Tell us about, what have you got going on here? Look at these things.
That's called amaranth. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And then where Chris has got a good combination of a few...
Love the way you're holding them, mister.
Yeah, look at that.
That's fantastic.
Maid of honor,
He's
Chris
had
Steele.
floral training.
No floral training.
There you go. I mean, obviously, you jumped at the chance to partner up with Fond.
Yeah. I think I was walking in coffee shops and I kept asking people where they got these bouquets from, a few local coffee shops. And then there's this one person that runs this coffee shop called Routine Coffee. It's great coffee. I always ask those guys what's like new in the city, like who are the new up and comers, and they mentioned Ella, and then I checked out Ella's stuff and I was just like totally blown away. And at the market, we always want it to feel like, you know, a collaboration between many local businesses. And so that's exactly why we chose to work with Ella.
All right. Opening this Saturday, right, Ella?
Next Saturday.
Oh, next Saturday.
Yes.
A week from this Saturday.
That would be next Saturday.
It's next Saturday.
Something like that.
You can't get it past me. I know what's going on.
It will be on Saturday. We know that, right?
In the calendar. So you'll be here personally?
I will be probably dropping off the flowers and heading back out to the farm. Because someone's got to grow these things too.
Okay.
I will be here.
Is it only you doing the farming?
I'm the main guy doing the farming. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who come out and help me from time to time, and because of this opportunity, we're actually going to be hiring our first employee.
Oh, wow.
So, woohoo.
Fond Floral. I love that. So come and check out Ella Bethune's Fond Floral, not this Saturday, the following Saturday at the Old Farm Market. And while you're here, get some cookies for a cause. You know, our faces are on it, but they're still delicious.
Yeah, if you turn it around, yeah.
Cookies are fantastic, and the proceeds are going to our colleague Liz Brown's fundraising efforts for the Tour de Rock, and we'll talk to lovely Liz coming up in just a little bit.
All right, looking forward to that. The flowers look amazing, and farmers' work. It's honest work, and it looks like she's got some great flowers that'll be on hand at Old Farm Market. Thanks, guys. We'll hear from you in a little bit.
Yep.
Well, still to come, RCMP say a sunk BC charter boat off Richmond could take days to recover, and the Port of Vancouver setting a lofty environmental goal.
We have to find a way to get this port to a zero-emission port. That's our vision.
When the port hopes to hit that target and why critics wonder if that goal can be achieved. That's after the break. Please stay with us. Canadian dollar with a slight gain today. The TSX up 109 and the Dow climbing by nearly 595. The Nasdaq fell 207 points. Gold climbing 43.30 an ounce, and oil is up 11 cents to 68.69 a barrel.
Do your eyes itch, water, or burn? Are they constantly irritated and uncomfortable? These are symptoms of dry eye. Island Eye Care is your solution for long-term relief. Our specialized InMode treatment is a safe and highly effective solution. This non-invasive procedure targets inflammation and blocked oil glands to restore natural function. InMode's clinically proven technology is Health Canada approved. Regain your ocular health and wellness. Call Island Eye Care today.
Now is a great time to help you set goals to help you reach financial success.
Maybe you want to reach that success by making a few updates to your home.
Or anything else you've been dreaming of accomplishing.
A Capital Direct FlexiLine can get you there.
How would you use $80,000, $280,000, or even $2.8 million?
For your best financial health, choose FlexiLine Fitness from Capital Direct.
Call us today.
CapitalDirect.ca
Boxing Week is back at Leon's. Get up to $1,000 off select appliance packages. Plus, free extra year of warranty, free local delivery, free basic installation, free haul away. Don't miss Boxing Week at Leon's. Leon's, now that's comfortable.
Cheerios Protein. 12 grams of tasty protein with milk to start your day.
Closed captioning of this CHEK program is brought to you by RLC Landscaping, Victoria's irrigation and landscaping specialists.
When local news matters the most, CHEK now sends updates right to your inbox. Local news, local events, local people, 7 days a week. Subscribe on checknews.ca. Proudly supported by Bathfitter. Book your free consultation at bathfitter.com.
Search crews say it could take days to recover a charter fishing boat that sank off the coast of Richmond over the weekend. The sinking left 6 people missing and presumed drowned, while 4 survivors had hypothermia when they were rescued. Richmond RCMP say conditions have made the search slower and more difficult. They were hoping for calmer waters this afternoon to provide a better window for teams to work. BC Highway Patrol released this video of an incident in June. An officer turned on lights and sirens when a motorcyclist passed him on the shoulder, which is illegal and dangerous. The rider didn't stop, and as a result, he ran into a road sign and then into the rear of a truck that was pulling over. The 37-year-old motorcyclist from Chilliwack was arrested, his bike impounded, and he now faces hundreds of dollars in fines. Well, it's the final chapter in a 6-year fight over what many call a jewel of Qualicum Beach. For decades, St. Andrew's Lodge has been at the heart of the town's tourism sector, which is why protesters fought so hard to protect it. Kendall Hansen has more.
Sam Little is virtually forgotten, and he contributed a lot to this town.
This is St. Andrew's Lodge today. It opened in 1938 and played a key role in hosting tourists for more than 80 years.
It was basically one of the cornerstones of the middle-class tourism industry in Qualicum Beach. And as a lot of people know, tourism is our main industry here.
The restoration pays ode to Elizabeth Little, who ran the lodge, and Sam Little, who designed it. Sam played an instrumental role in the building of Qualicum Beach.
And he's all but forgotten, but we're trying to revive the memory of him. He was an architect ahead of his time. He designed about 60 buildings in this area, including the current community hall, the old fire hall, the little church down by the railroad tracks. They're all still in use. They were that solid.
In November 2020, Qualicum Beach's town council approved its demolition for $40,000. But when trucks rolled up, protesters got in the way. The demolition was delayed, and then council had a change of heart.
They rose up, protested, and council listened and heard, and we changed the direction. And as a result of that, it took 5 years of hard work to see this building restored.
These are before the restoration began, and these are after. It took a monumental community effort, including seismic, electrical, and heating upgrades, and involving over 120 volunteers, nearly $700,000, including a federal grant.
It's been all fundraising, grants, people writing checks, and thousands of hours of volunteer labor. You know, it's been a great community to work with. We count ourselves very lucky.
I think it's fabulous. It has an atmosphere that makes you want to move in. It's a very warm building, and I think Elizabeth Little's character is still here.
Very few people thought they could do it, because we were told to restore the building with seismic upgrade, you would need $600,000-$700,000. But they did.
The Society plans to rent the lodge out for community use. This Saturday, the Society will hold a grand reopening, all welcome for cake, music, and tours, among other events, a celebration of a massive effort to save a piece of Qualicum Beach history.
Well, the Port of Vancouver has pledged to be zero emissions by 2050. It's a lofty goal that few ports across the globe are striving for. But as the CBC's John Hernandez reports, some critics are questioning whether it's even achievable given some of the port's commitments.
The hum of this port patrol boat isn't coming from your traditional fuel.
We're using 100% renewable diesel. And so that's a test or a demonstration that we're doing to kind of understand the operability of that fuel.
The boat still emits fossil fuels, but it has a smaller carbon footprint because it's not pulled from the ground. It's one of the many small steps the Port of Vancouver says it's taking to meet a massive goal.
We have to find a way to get this port to a zero-emission port. That's our vision.
A vision with a 2050 deadline. To get there, the Port of Vancouver has installed these electric cranes, part of its vehicle fleet, now electric, efforts it hopes to scale up in the years ahead.
That really is about an energy transition. It's thinking about how to get different types of increasingly lower carbon intensity fuels and technologies into the port, into heavy-duty transportation.
Few ports across the world have made such a commitment. Still, critics say the goal is undermined by the port's ongoing commitment to liquid natural gas.
We have been advocating specifically to Vancouver to make sure that they're not making any investments in LNG bunkering.
The port has partnered with FortisBC to build an LNG ship fueling station to meet growing demand over the next decade.
It's only furthering our reliance on fossil fuels and continuing this benefit that fossil companies are receiving off the backs of our public health and the well-being of our planet.
But the port calls LNG a transition fuel on the road to cleaner marine fuels.
We need to find what those other fuels and technologies are, but that's going to require expanding electrification, battery technology, distribution of electrical power, conversion to hydrogen where it's needed or necessary. So all that takes more time, more money.
A transition that's only becoming more urgent amid growing global calls to rein in an industry that's one of the world's worst polluters.
I'm Ed Bain. Your full island forecast is coming up, but first, here's a look at weather around the world. Extreme heat for Lisbon today at 38 degrees. Down in New Zealand, Christchurch at a mix and 12. And rain and 17 for Oslo, Norway.
Weather around the world is brought to you by ComSense Cabinets. Designed for your space, built for your life.
Saratoga Speedway and Saratoga Motorsports Park is the Comox Valley's #1 destination for family entertainment. Head to saratogaracing.ca for a full look at all upcoming 2026 events and get your tickets now. Also, make sure to stay close to the action with Speedway RV, the North Island's newest campground. With over 100 sites, a general store, pool, and more, Speedway RV is the place to stay. Book your site now at speedwayrv.ca. Black Creek, Saratoga Speedway and Speedway RV, Vancouver Island's home of speed and family fun.
What makes a local business special to me is our community support, our friends and neighbors. We send customers back and forth to each other. We commiserate together, we congratulate together, and we move forward together.
At Mayfair Optometric Clinic, we are part of the Victoria community and have been so for over 30 years. Our patients are part of the community. We support them, they support us, and Victoria is better for it.
Atlas was started by my grandpa 58 years ago, and my dad and I currently run the company together. Dealing directly with us, you're not dealing with a big box store, you're going to pay the same amount, and we are able to give our customers the best experience possible.
Dive into adventure with Prince of Wales. Experience the trip of a lifetime watching orcas, humpback whales, and more. Book now, only at princeofwales.com.
Yeah, I hear you. I stopped voting years ago. I read somewhere that they don't even count the ballots. Now, what was that for?
I had to fact check you because you were spreading misinformation. This is why we need credible journalists who fact check information before sharing it.
Got it. I guess I will vote.
Come on.
Up we go. Can't even remember where I read that.
We don't play hockey, we sell cars.
Welcome to the all-new Victoria Hyundai, Canada's newest and biggest Hyundai dealership. Over 1,000 new and used vehicles on site. The island's best selection of EVs, 20 service bays, an express lane for oil changes. We've got you covered. Plus, the all-new Victoria Genesis store, where luxury and experience come together.
The Cott family invites you down to Canada's largest Hyundai facility, now in Langford.
Victoria Hyundai, we sell cars.
Next Jeopardy! A two-game champion is on a roll.
That's very exciting.
But is this where things get rocky?
Okay, a big wager. What a great game.
Next Jeopardy!
Jeopardy! Monday to Saturday at 7:30 on CHEK. This CHEK program is brought to you in part by Real Rug Washing by LoverRug.com. Fall in love with your rugs all over again.
And when I go out, well, you know I'm gonna be.
Well, Canada Day celebrations lasted all day long in the capital with food trucks, vendors, and live music. The biggest crowds came later in the night for the fireworks show that started around 10:20. And while Victoria Police brought in extra officers, there were no major incidents to report. Vic PD says the Canada Day festivities have transitioned away from alcohol-fueled event to more of a family-focused atmosphere. It was a great celebration yesterday for Canada's 159th birthday, and the Upside cookies are for sale at the Old Farm Market, and there's one of the headliners of the cookies, Ed Bain, and a celebration also tonight as well for Tour de Rock.
It is. This is all about Tour de Rock now. These Cookies for a Cause will support our colleague Liz Brown, who's the media writer for Tour de Rock this year. And they come in, of course, double chocolate. We've got the Monsters. We've got the macadamia nut cookies, which are terrific. So they're right back here, positioned right by the carrots, although some people have been suggesting that maybe this would be a better pairing against the corn, but that's a whole other story. So we'll tell you more about how you can buy these cookies that are available at all three Old Farm Market stores. This one in Cadborough Bay, in Oak Bay, also up in Duncan, and the Courtney store. So pick them up. They're delicious, and it, of course, is going to support just a wonderful cause, a great tradition on Vancouver Island, the Tour de Rock. All right, the other great tradition on Vancouver Island is periodic rain, and we have had quite a bit of that today. Here's the Futurecast. We've got that system, pushing in here, delivering more of the same here for at least the overnight period and into tomorrow morning. Things are going to get more stable in the days ahead. It's probably going to take until Saturday before we get that high pressure locked in here. But the jet stream, you can see, has popped up a little bit, so temperatures are at least getting closer to normal. And then once we get that high pressure locked in, we should be in the sunshine for the weekend and should see temperatures around 20 to 23, but still unsettled tonight for that weak system. All right, to the North Island we go for the next 24 hours, which will be unsettled with showers tonight and again tomorrow. Pretty much the same temperature from lows to highs, 12 to 13 for the northern tip. Sayward getting a mix of sun and cloud, occasional showers, and a high of 19. On to the west side now, Tofino and Port Alberni, same unsettled pattern tonight and tomorrow. About 15 at best for Tofino, so still on the cool side here to say the least. Port Alberni should move up to about 20 for the highs, and then occasional showers and occasional sunny breaks, all a part of the Friday forecast there for the Alberni Valley. Into the east section now, overnight tonight, the shower chance pretty solid, 60%, so likely a continuation of on and off showers tonight and at least tomorrow morning before things dry off and break out a little bit. Some sunshine should poke out in the afternoon. 19 for tomorrow's high is below seasonal. As far as the Nanaimo, Ladysmith, and Duncan goes, they'll be at the seasonal mark of 21 degrees, and we should see a few afternoon breaks of sunshine there as well after a couple of morning showers. All right, down to Greater Victoria, we've had a pretty steady afternoon of showers here, and it will continue sort of on and off through the evening and overnight tonight, and early tomorrow morning before we too see some drying and some occasional sunny breaks in the cloud cover, and 19 for our high tomorrow, about 21 over on Salt Spring. Same deal, showers and occasional sunny breaks there as well. Into the map of BC we go. It's a low 20s day for Vancouver, starting off with a few morning showers and then breaking out some sunshine in the afternoon. Another warm one for Kamloops at 27, a mix of 26 for Kelowna, and then thunder showers rolling through Williams Lake, Prince George, and Cranbrook tomorrow as they get to about 25 out there in the Kootenays. Into the Cross Canada map we go, so it's thunder showers for both Edmonton and Calgary for tomorrow, 21 for Edmonton's high, 23 for the opening day of the Stampede for Calgary. Thunder showers also into Regina and also into Winnipeg again. They've had a brutal run of weather in both those cities the last several days. 21 degrees for Winnipeg's high tomorrow. Thunder Bay up around 27. The heat warnings, and these are orange level heat warnings, so that's the second highest for Toronto, and the same for Ottawa. High temperatures around 32. Will feel like about 43 with that humidity factored in, and the same deal for Ottawa with a humidex of 39 for
for tomorrow. Heat warning also up for Halifax tomorrow, as that 31 will feel like anywhere between 37 and 40 Celsius. All right, to the 777s we go. So for the North Island, we're looking at showers likely Friday at 60%. Rain comes in on Saturday. A few breaks of sunshine for Sunday at a 17-degree high. And then the Monday, Tuesday shower chance is also pretty solid at 70 and 60%. Dry for Wednesday and 17. On to the Central Island we go. So Friday, Saturday, still carrying mostly cloudy forecast there before full sunshine breaks up for the end of the weekend. So high pressure will be nicely locked in there by Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all in a mix of sunny cloud and in the almost the mid-20s for Monday, low 20s after that for Tuesday and Wednesday. And for the South Island, we'll get showers to start our day tomorrow. Most of the day will be mostly cloudy with a 19-degree high for Friday, and then we should be locked into full sunshine here with that high pressure Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Temperatures pretty consistent right into Wednesday of next week around that 22 and 23-degree mark. So that's the way the weather looks. Here's the way the cookies look, and here's the way Liz looks in her Cops for Cancer jersey, getting ready to take on the big ride in September. So good luck to you, Liz. We're going to talk to Liz Brown here, our co-worker at CHEK, about all things Tour de Rock, and these cookies will help Liz's campaign. She's low. That's what this is how you should be shopping for these things. By the way, load them up. You're right. Old Farm Market.
She's like Super Liz. I saw her in work clothes earlier today. Now she's in her bike outfit. That looked amazing. So looking forward to hearing from the star of the show in a little bit. Thanks, Ed.
This guy right here is on top of the, yes, you called it the Empire State Building.
Still to come, a heart-stopping stunt in New York. The message, their arrest, and questions of security. The upside is on the other side of the break. Please stay with us.
At Cascadia Liquor, we're proud to call Vancouver Island home. From locally crafted beer, wine, and spirits to supporting the people and causes that make our communities strong. We're more than a liquor store. We're your neighbors. Cascadia Liquor. Proud Islanders.
The quest for the Holy Grail begins with Monty Python's Spamalot, presented by Broadway in Victoria, August 28th to 30th at the Royal Theatre. You can win 4 seats to opening night. Go to checknews.ca for your chance to see the funniest musical on Broadway.
Seniors living at home can enjoy an enhanced quality of life. Stay-at-home elevating provides the solutions you need to live at home safely. From stair lifts to home elevators, installation to custom modifications. Get your free assessment with Stay-at-Home Elevating.
Experience BC's best whale watching with Prince of Wales. Explore the wonders of the natural world with family and friends in Victoria, Vancouver, and Telegraph Cove. Book now at princeofwales.com.
If you're looking to build your dream kitchen, customization is the key.
Island Dream Kitchens manufactures to exact specifications right here in Victoria. Whether it starts from a picture or an idea, complimentary designers work with you to add all the special touches for any space. Dreams can be built within your budget. Design, manufacture, install.
From start to finish, Island Dream Kitchens bring your dreams to life.
I remain a very proud Canadian. I had the privilege of growing up in Fort William, Ontario, which amalgamated with Port Arthur and became known as Thunder Bay. To this day, the rugged, majestic landscape north of Lake Superior fills my heart with pride. The sleeping giant rock formation that extends into the lake, steeped in First Nations lore, still sparks my imagination and truly captures what it means to be Canadian.
A line isn't a limit. It's a starting point. Remitly helps turn hard work into steady progress by keeping your money in play. Move, manage, grow your money worldwide. Remitly keeps up with your global life.
Do you know what's in your mattress and how it's made? At Rest House, our Cocoon mattresses are designed with fully accessible latex layers. Support where you need it with a mattress made to last. Fall into the best sleep of your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
That's one small step for man.
When you say fuddle-duddle or something like that.
In declaring Expo 86 officially open.
George!
iPhone. CHEK News will be on the air tomorrow.
We are now the only newscast broadcast from Vancouver Island. We're employee-owned and we're staying.
The Upside is brought to you by IBEW Local 230.
Back to the Old Farm Market in Cabra Bay. There's Jeff King. Time for the Upside. And Jeff, This is a who's who of cyclists from CHEK. You and Ed did the end-to-end ride not that long ago. And Liz Brown, who works in our digital department, she's been training for a few months now for the always great Tour de Rock. So good on all of you for what you've been doing.
Yeah. Ed and I are fake cyclists. Liz is a real cyclist. And the Tour de Rock, the training's been underway since March, and the big ride goes in September, and we're trying to help Liz with the Old Farm Market to raise some money. It's Cookies for a Cause. Chris Steele's with us right now. Liz Brown, of course, our colleague and Tour de Rock rider. And you were nice enough to give us a nice donation for our ride end to end. And here we are turning around and you're back at it. You always give back when we ask, Chris. And now Cookies for a Cause for Tour de Rock. Thank you.
Oh, gosh, no problem. Yeah, it's such an honor. I mean, any time to work with you guys and to help out the community is such a big thing for us. So it's an honor to be involved, and I think we came up with a good concept before that we can keep going and helping many other organizations. Right.
How's the training going, Liz? I know it started in March, and you've had some big rides and some bigger ones coming.
Yeah, the training's going well. Going to the gym as well. You got to keep those legs strong. Right. You got to stay fit. Don't forget to stretch. A lot of foam rolling. You know, I'm not as young as I was, but we're getting it done. And the team's out there today, so I won't be logging tonight. But I will make up my ride, team. I will do my makeup ride, so don't worry.
I mean, and as I said to you before, but Ed and I are both alumni, and the riding and the training's one thing, but the emotion of the 2 weeks, and really it starts right now. You've already met one of your honorary riders, and in the next few days you're heading over to the camp to find out where the money's going to. So speak to that, and you can't really get ready for the emotion, but I'm sure you've heard a lot about it.
I sure have. Yeah, I mean, speaking to both of you and previous riders, they really do say you can't really prepare for that. Right. And I think even just getting a chance to meet the one family so far on Gabriola Island, I know who I'm riding for. Obviously, I have a personal connection with my dad as well. But meeting these young kids that are going through this, I mean, it's just you don't ever want to be a parent or a family in that position. And so I'm really looking forward to going to Camp Good Times. It's a medically supervised camp, and it just provides some reprieve for the families and the kids. And they get to meet other kids and families that are going through the same thing. I think something like that can be pretty isolating. And so to be able to be in an environment where you get to talk freely about what it's actually like, and that people will understand what that's like, and have fun as well, and relax and know that you're in good hands. Yeah. And the Cookies for a Cause was born, sadly, out of one of your employees whose little one was battling cancer. I mean, it's a nice story now in a way, because for the most part they're through the tough times, but you wanted to step forward and help families and kids on the island that are battling cancer.
Yeah, it really came down to Brooke and her son and their experience. But it's organizations like these that come together and make life a lot easier for these parents and kids. I think it really it always hits close to home when there's somebody that's directly impacted by it. And it makes it all the easier to get involved with things like this. Yeah.
Sadly, your dad's battling cancer right now, and we want to give him a shout out because I know he's going to get to see it. I'm sure he's so proud of what you're doing. I'm sure that'll be a big part of what you're thinking about when you're on the journey in September.
That's right. Yeah, I did get a chance to go back and spend some time with him last week. And, every moment is special. I really cherish that time. And it's always present on my mind. He does this thing where he'll send an audio note over WhatsApp. So I have a little wake up in the morning, and I have all those recordings, and then I'll send mine back to him, and we'll just talk about what we're doing through our day. So we do stay connected even when we're far apart, which helps a lot. Yeah.
And just so folks know, the Tour de Rock funds 100% of Camp Good Times, and I've had the pleasure, the honor of going there, and it's just so true. The kids are just there. You know, there's kids with prosthetic legs that have maybe never met someone else that's gone through what they're going through, and they're in a tent together and being able to share their experience and such. We're proud of you. Good luck. And Cookies for a Cause, Chris, thanks for stepping up again. So all three locations, the Old Farm Market, Cadboro Bay, in Duncan, and up in Courtenay. Here's a business that's giving back to the community, and here's a young lady that's giving back to it as well. And it is time now for our Smile of the Day.
Smile of the Day, brought to you by Dr. Ross Crapo and Associates.
After 40 years, we know that changing your smile changes your life, and we're just getting started.
So this is quite a feat from a few years ago now, but still impressive to watch. Yuya Yamada of Japan, also known as Hoopman Yuya, spun this 5.4 meter diameter hula hoop, and it still stands as a Guinness World Record. He's been a hula hoop artist since 2011, often travels to schools and gives demonstrations as well. That looks heavy too, that hula hoop, but that is tonight's Smile of the Day. That's an impressive physical feat, but so too is cycling up and down Vancouver Island, which you three, well, Liz is about to, but Ed and Jeff have already done, and Liz is doing a great job getting herself ready for that ride, and can't wait for some. I know we've had some cookies here at CHEK. They're a bit of my kryptonite. They're almost like homemade cookies, and so they're pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they don't last long in the counter at the in the lunchroom, as I recall. All right, well, there they go into these new bags. These bags also support Liz's cause for the Cops for Cancer Tour de Rock. So buy a bag at the Old Farm Market here at Cadboro Bay, and there you go. Farmy as. That's right. That's right.
It's great stuff. Good stuff, and great job, Liz, and thanks so much for sharing your story as well tonight, and thanks, Ed and Jeff, as always. We've got much more to come after the break. Please stay with us.
When I was younger, I thought purpose had to be big, like changing the world. But then there's the little things, like fueling someone's car before an early shift, or helping someone find the perfect bottle to toast a special occasion, making sure the shelves are full so a family can cook dinner, so those kids can have their favorite treats, like giving back, like making everyone's day just a bit better. Maybe that's exactly our purpose.
Yeah?
Bro, let me in.
Party's over, Dennis.
Oh! Sorry, Mr. C.
Teens might not care if you protect your home, but we do. Claims-free homeowners save an average of 25%. It's how we're making insurance more human.
Feel right at home with the Comfort Group.
Whether it's cold or hot outside, you need comfort inside. From Victoria to Campbell River, the Comfort Group is the name homeowners trust for total home comfort. Delivering heating and cooling built for the island climate, the Comfort Group is your local heat pump expert. Heating, cooling, and electrical. Trusted comfort for every home, for every season. The Comfort Group.
Looking for a truck? Come to Victoria's Truck Center. At Jenner, we have mid-size, half-ton, and heavy-duty trucks. When our name's on the back of your truck, you know you got the best deal. At Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC, still on the old Island Highway.
Trying to predict the future is a hazardous occupation. The only thing we can be sure of is that it will be absolutely fantastic.
Watch the sky turn into a canvas of color with Saturday fireworks at the Butch Art Gardens. Enjoy fine dining, then settle in for an original choreographed show to music Saturday nights in July and August. Visit butchartgardens.com for showtimes.
Wow, look at all of those people.
That sea of
people.
Live July 12th, Victoria Pride Society presents Victoria Pride Parade.
It's our community coming together.
Because love is love.
Hosted by your favorite weekend news team, Scott V and Tess Van Stratton.
So incredible.
With special guest Eddie Licious. Coverage starts at 11:15 on CHEK, CHEK Plus, and YouTube. Brought to you by Third Space Movement and Helijet.
Proudly supported by CHEK.
Come find me.
A message in a bottle, a mystery man, and one chance at something real.
Pancakes! Did I tell you I have a thing for pancakes?
Sometimes you need to take a leap and follow your heart. Bottled with love. Friday at 8.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Island Eye Care in Victoria. Do your eyes itch, water, or burn? You may be suffering from dry eye. Get real answers and say goodbye to dry eye.
Cats. Maddox to the plate. That's lifted into.
The Victoria Harbour Cats scored early and often last night in Nanaimo in the second game of that three-game series in the West Coast Baseball League. The Night Owls took the opener 10-7 on Tuesday, but the Harbour Cats returned the favor with an 11-2 win at Roxman Stadium, which included a Brady Hewitt home run in the fifth. The teams are meeting again tonight in Victoria, and we will have full highlights with Harbour Cats in 30, starting at 10:30, following CHEK News at 10.
And the Vikes come in with a shuffled up deck as Joffrey James hits from long distance.
Although it's the summer break, the UVic Vikes have announced the men's basketball team will face off with NCAA Division I opponents at a preseason showcase next month in Nassau, Bahamas. The Vikes will take on Texas A&M, the University of Cincinnati, and South Carolina during the Baha Mar Summer Hoops League that will run August 1st to 9th. The Vikes say this will be a first test for a retooled roster before their Canada West season starts in the fall. A wild video out of New York City on Wednesday when a couple climbed to the very top of the Empire State Building. And while they are now facing serious charges, they did it to send a message of peace and love.
This morning, two people are facing serious charges for this sky-high stunt. The duo wearing masks climbing to the top of one of the nation's most iconic landmarks on Wednesday, New York's Empire State Building.
Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the spire.
It's not some worker changing a light, is it?
Nah, it's a male, female, dressed in black. They had some flag they were waving.
The couple unfurling a black banner about peace and love and kissing nearly 1,500 feet above Midtown Manhattan as people looked on from below.
We had to run outside and see what was going on. You can't be up here.
This blurred body camera footage capturing officers taking them into custody. The pair, later identified as internet daredevils, 32-year-old Ivan Kuznetsov and 33-year-old Angelina Nicolaou. They're both now facing multiple criminal charges, including felony burglary, reckless endangerment, and trespassing.
This guy right here is on top of the, yes, you called it the Empire State Building.
The couple is featured in a documentary about their gravity-defying stunts. But in this latest feat, as they descended to a lower platform, Kuznetsov appears to drop to one knee. Nicolaou posting a photo on social media showing off a sparkling ring. An Empire State Building spokesperson writing in a statement, while the stunt was unauthorized, there was at no time danger to tenants, visitors, and Empire State Building observation deck guests. But some are questioning how the couple managed to bypass security.
It's really intense security. You go through metal detectors.
The incident happening while the NYPD is on high alert amidst World Cup crowds, reports of Taylor Swift's wedding at Madison Square Garden, and the upcoming Macy's fireworks show.
Consider our loggers. They're more than a logging truck driver. They're part of the solution. Looking for net zero emissions? Their work is far ahead of getting us there. Down remote logging roads, they're not just transporting logs, they're protecting our forests. Want to limit forest fires? Their balanced forestry approach is key. The goal of more sustainably managed forests isn't a distant dream. It's today's reality because of BC's loggers. And loggers, they're in the driver's seat, leading the way.
Live viewing on the big screen, live entertainment, and free family-friendly programming. Experience the Summer of Soccer in downtown Victoria. Catch the action at participating bars, pubs, and community events until July 19th. Visit dvba.ca/Summer of Soccer.
It's okay to say no. Like, no way are you getting away with that pyramid Ponzi scheme, Janice. Your fake returns can eat it. You're reported. You're done. Nobody likes you. But that's growth.
It all started with that new Leon sale. I haven't seen him smile this much since our wedding night.
Put on your deal face with huge savings store-wide.
We also offer free local delivery.
Leon's, that's comfortable.
For over 40 years, California Closets British Columbia has been transforming BC homes. I'm with owners Stefan and Annie. So, everything you do at California Closets is local?
Yes, Chrissy, made in Canada.
95% of our wood comes from Canadian mills. We do primary manufacturing right here in Burnaby, British Columbia. Our supplier of accessories is in Surrey, so huge Canadian content.
Amazing.
Don't miss out on 26% off the 26th anniversary sale on now.
It's the Jeep 85 Years Celebration event. 85 years of daring to ask, what if? Like, what if we didn't sacrifice capabilities for comfort? Or what if nothing on the road ahead could hold us back? For decades, we've chased every what if, why not, who, where, and how. And the answer? Because we can. Right now, get up to $7,500 in total incentives on the 2026 Jeep Compass. Or get 0% financing up to 60 months on the 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Right here in Vancouver Island, Big Wheel Burger and its incredible customers have raised and donated over $750,000 to local community charities since 2020. When you support local, you build better communities. Big Wheel Burger is a proud community partner.
Take your comfort to new heights with Mountain Peak Heating and Cooling. With professional heat pump installs, dependable service, and in-house design, we are local experts keeping you comfortable through every season. Your home deserves comfort that steps above the rest. Mountain Peak Heating and Cooling.
Since 1967, Island Marble has been Victoria's bathroom specialist. Thank you for making us part of your renovation journey over the years. We promise to keep delivering expert craftsmanship and outstanding service. Discover the possibilities at Island Marble.
Archie Johnstone Plumbing and Heating, a full-service mechanical contractor since 1954. From emergency service to preventative maintenance, commercial to residential. Archie Johnstone Plumbing and Heating. We're plumb serious about plumbing. Visit us at ajph.com.
Did you know Arctic Spas is more than just hot tubs? We've got a wide selection of all-weather pools, saunas, and cold plunges to complete your personal spa experience. Arctic Spas, whatever your wellness, find it at Arctic Spas, Vancouver Island.
This CHEK program is brought to you in part by Connie LeBeau Homes.
Helping you make the right move.
Welcome back. Well, some exciting news for Canadian music fans. Canada will participate in the 2027 Eurovision Song Contest, and some say the move is a way to strengthen our nation's ties with Europe.
Fireworks, extravagant costumes, and fierce competition in the world's most popular singing contest, soon to feature Canada.
It's about to get even better, even wilder.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, a personal fan of Eurovision, announcing that Canada will participate in Bulgaria next year. The contest, which draws tens of millions of viewers, sees singers battle it out by performing original songs.
The world wants Canada, wants Canadian culture.
The decision comes less than a week after CBC Radio-Canada became a full member of the European Broadcasting Union, a requirement to join the contest. The federal government first teased the idea in the 2025 budget, with funding set aside to explore participation in Eurovision.
The Canadian government is really facing Europe. So joining the contest, I think, is arguably a way in which Canada can be more European.
Canadians have taken to the Eurovision stage before. Céline Dion won on behalf of Switzerland in 1988, Natacha Saint-Pierre in 2001, and Lazara in 2023.
It's really exciting.
Canadian Laurel Barker has written songs for other nations in the contest.
So it's just amazing for Canada to have the chance to compete under our own flag.
Competing comes at a cost, a tiered entry fee and production expenses. For Canada, the total would likely be $500,000, according to this expert.
The question of why are we spending money on a European Song Contest, I think those are questions that I think are legit and we're going to need some answers to.
In Bulgaria, the winner of the 2026 Eurovision. That's our show tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with CHEK News at 10. Until then, have a great night.
Music fills Victoria's historic Christchurch Cathedral as young singers and adults rehearse for an epic trip.
Makes me really happy that we can make people stay with our singing.
Singers in Christchurch's youth choir for teens, the school-based young choristers for children aged 8 to 13, and adults in the cathedral choir are going to England to perform at London's world-famous St. Paul's Cathedral and Lincoln Cathedral.
I think that it'll be a challenge, but it'll also be something that I think we're capable of.
To make the UK tour accessible for all singers, they're now in the final stretch of community fundraising for this transformational trip.
Vital People is brought to you in part by the Victoria Foundation, connecting people who care with causes that matter.
Are you ready for more fun?